Welcome to One Word Today. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue exploring potentially classical China era's character. And today is a big word, 全. And finally, simplified and traditional. They look totally different, at least on the right side. Simplified is super simple. And we know the right side here means three-finger hand symbol. And later on, we change um, the three finger to make it easier to write. So three finger hand symbol next to a wood icon, and that somehow means right or power. Depends on where you look at it. Traditional and 2000 years ago's dictionary looks the same versus this is from even further, like 5 or 6 thousand years ago, 甲骨文 on the on the shells of turtle shells have the carved. You can see because these are, it's hard to carve complicated lines. So over there, mostly straight lines, right? When you carve on a shell on a hard surface. So this is simplified Chinese versus this, the script language, which is standardized by the first dynasty, Qin Shi Huang, the first dynasty of China, at the beginning of the thousands of years of classical China era. Then they standardized the writing styles, and this is the script language. And you can see that is a continuation all the way to the traditional Chinese, which is used by Taiwan, Hong Kong, and other non-mainland China zones of the Chinese language. So this um, the word symbol on the left side. The right side is a heron, is a water bird. Okay, water bird. I can revisit my previous recording. I realized I probably didn't explain things clearly back then, or that later on, because I continue unpack so many different Chinese characters that I gained new understanding of what this how Chinese express water birds. And also my personal experience, I had more kind of a close in-person experience with water birds on a waterway. So I have some understanding of why water birds is depicted this way. So first off, at the bottom is a small body birds. Chinese have two kinds of birds, big birds and small birds. So big birds will have long and kind of drapey feather versus small birds is fluffier. And here is kind of going horizontally, it's kind of anti-gravity, it's not draping. Because it's not big feathered, big birds. It's a smaller, fluffier bird. So this is this is the head of the bird, the feathers and the tucked together little feet of the bird. So this is a bird that's verticalized because the birds, as we observe, would be either perched on the branch or in flight. And when they're in flight, their body is going to be horizontal to the ground, to earth, right? But this is verticalized. It's more like a sitting on the branch kind of bird, kind of like humans were upright, we're not prone or supine position in relative to the ground. And when we have the bird here, then here I can explain it better now. So this is the long beak of the bird because water birds need to keep reaching underwater. So their whole body is still above the water, but their beak need to reach down to catch whatever food bits they can find, and also visible to them on the, I guess, shallow water. And so this, to my current version of understanding, is this signifies the water level, and they reach down their beak and kind of open underwater. So this water level connected with this long beak to this bird, and that signifies, and because it's oriented upside down, basically, water birds, really the water will be under the birds, right? But here the Chinese is flip it upside down. So it's hard to change our angles of the world. But this is a challenge to us. Now finally I reorient and then I can see how this beak connected to the bird. And this would be reasonable to view that as the water line. And so it's the water bird reaching down. The two mouth symbol, besides it's a xuan. Okay, so this is a xuan. The two mouth symbol means yappy, means noisy, many voices. And because we have mouth symbol in Chinese, when we have double, like a double down, means loudly speaking, like a really attention grabbing kind of a noisy level. And maybe that's a kind of observation of water birds because they are noisy. When you're next to them, you can hear they're yapping a lot. What besides a busy dining to pick up the food from water. So this is a physical, almost physical as well as behavioral capturing of the features of this bird. And this water bird next to the wood symbol somehow turn into this abstract idea of, right, okay, so there is a in between the middle stage before it become abstraction of this human construct of what is right, right? That is totally like in our mind, it's not in our physical world. In between, this character, this heron or water bird, plus wood together, it means a weighing device that when you, like contemporarily when we weigh stuff, it's with electric, digital scale, right? You stand on the scale and you read the number of it. Ancient times, weighing is way more complicated. And then it's like a stick, and then you have a little dish to hold stuff you want to weigh. And then on the other side, we will have this adjustable heavy weight thing so that we can calculate how much this thing you're weighing. So this quan somehow became this weight, this metal thing. I mean, I would imagine it's more reasonable to put at least a metal sign next to it instead of wood. So I don't know the twist of the history, like why this water bird plus wood became this weighing device. But from the weighing device to right or to power, then it's more explainable because what is power? Power means somebody who is in the position to make a decision that affect other people's lives. It depends on how big a power the person has and may have a different scale of impact. So this power, person in power, the practice or the expectation of the practice is this person in power got to be able to weigh or make trade-off or balance or counterbalance of different interest groups so that you can make the decision that keep, I guess, majority of people happy. So it's a tough job. It's a lot of strategic thinking and judgment about how to weigh different things. So this weighing, this almost like a calculating of what you want to value, how you want to distribute your resources, so to speak, so that different interest group or different parts of people in your population get to their peace, that so that everybody feel is not biased, that everybody feel they are considered, something like that. So it's a tough job. And that's the main, I guess, the job description according to Chinese, that we use, we derive the power concept from this weighing act, this balancing act. And that's pretty deep, I would say. Okay, so common expressions. 权力. This is a physical power. It came from the rake. So for agrarian society, your farming efficiency mostly tied with your muscle power, and that symbolized power. Really, the physical dynamic power. That's the energy that can turn, I guess, the bioenergy to food source, and that to feed people, right? So it's basically capsule the energy into plant, and then eventually humans can feed on them to tap into that energy, convert back to bioenergy. So this li then relates to pair this power, muscle power, with this balancing act together. It means the people up on the top have the power to do something. And because this masculine power, probably it comes with this enforcement and something that you have to defend or make it defendable. So it's a power. It's like a privilege to have that, so that it's paired with a muscular icon. Okay, 权力 versus this 力. 力 means sharp. It came from cutting the crops. So again, agrarian society concept. And this sharp knife cutting crops eventually becomes benefit, because we want to have an efficiency of harvesting crops. And if it's sharp, that means it's the major benefit. It's the major beneficial feature or utility you want something to have. So when you have this benefit paired with this balancing act concept, then this 权利 means the right, which is this concept. Like today, when we say right, it means somebody who has this, I don't know, like a divine given or legally given or morally given, granted right to something. So that's Chinese 权利. Oftentimes when we were in school, because they sound exactly the same and they share half of the characters, except this two li and li, it quite became almost like a favorite puzzle when in Chinese tests, teacher like us to make sure we don't get confused over the two, and it's almost like a trick question for us. So, firmly I remember this power, this muscle power became this political power, like somebody in power, versus this lead. There's a sharp edge thing that's benefit. So it's like you gain right to something, to the ordinary people. Okay, 权衡衡 is the horizontal wood, long wood in a house building structure, and eventually became horizontal. If I remember correctly, it means a big stair block from the entry of your home. So you have to step over it, and that serves as a blocker of the, say, bugs, something crawling on the ground. They cannot easily enter your household. So this big horizontal thing then rise up from its physical object and utility into this abstract concept of horizontal. Just like in English, we have horizon. We all see horizon is horizontal, right? And that's how horizontal get. We have to associate that with something visible to everybody else. So that's language creation. So 权衡, 权 here came back to the original, the mid history meaning. So from this weighing act with horizontal, that means weighing so that things are horizontal, things came out even, things are balanced. It's horizontal. So 权衡 then becomes like you have to compute, calculate, you have to measure, you have to think about the consequences of things so that you can make the right kind of trade-off, so that things came out like nobody gets too upset about things. So that's 权衡. So here we go. Right. 权. Thank you very much for your time. See you another day.